Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you on this hump day evening. Now, today we had a tale of two pieces of the puzzle. It was cold, and the radar at least showed some snow today. Warmer down to the south. One more big warm day before changes are in the offing. I'll have details coming up in this version of Hutch's weather and a big announcement I want you to stick around for because I want your input. Here, let's go. All right, one thing to keep in mind is my good friends at Robert Gibbons Sons. Well, they've been doing business in our area for over 100 years, whether it's new construction, preventative maintenance, emergency services, remodeling, and commercial or residential. You name it. Give Robert Gibb and Sons a call today, and they'll get the job done right. If you do give them a call, please let them know that Hutch sent you. Okay, we got a lot of weather to talk about. We're going to do just that. First, we're going to start with a look, and the main focus of this is the comparison of forecast models as we go into next week. We've got weekend snow. We got a lot of snow to talk about, but let's get through the early part of the forecast real quickly first. And to do that, I want to point out that we do have some weather, things that we'll be watching for as we go through, mainly warm air as we go through the next 24 hours. So here we go as we put this into motion. Now, one thing to keep in mind with our forecast as we go through the overnight hours, it's going to be coldest up to the north. Where you see these little blue lines hanging out right here, that's a pool of cool that is working its way into northern Minnesota, and it's been persistent. Now, the radar does show some snow showers up there, but we're not seeing a lot of this activity make its way down to the ground. Radar beams go up at an angle, and if they see snowflakes even up above the ground, they're going to report them in the form of echoes. However, one thing to keep in mind, that doesn't mean the snowflake is absolutely making its way down to the ground at the spot we see it. So that is one of the things that we worry about or work with. Now, as we go through the overnight hours, we'll continue with the south wind. Watch the red lines push their way in to the area as we go through. That's a nice warm up for most of the area, including you folks in northern Minnesota. You won't be as warm, but indeed a warm up nonetheless. Not much in the way of wind in the morning half of the day. Getting to the midday hour, though, this little low pressure system gains a little strength. It's going to push out some snow showers north of the Great Lakes region and really north of us. Behind it, more of a northerly flow. That sets the stage for a cool down on Friday. But most of us, as we go through your day tomorrow and Thursday, look to be plenty fine out there indeed. And that's how things are looking. Now, as we carry this out just a pinch further into Friday, here comes this cold. See all these blue lines here? This is cold air sagging southward. And as we have that interaction making its way through, we'll have a chance for some snow showers heading into the weekend. So some wind and some snow causing some minor impacts to area roads this weekend as we go through. But let's focus on tomorrow, shall we? I got a couple of quick pieces of the puzzle for you to get through, and then we'll compare these models. Temperatures will be coolest up to the north where you see the pinks, single digits to around 12 degrees for most of you. That includes Grand Forks, not too hot or balmy up there. Hey, thanks a lot for watching on YouTube. I see you popping in. If you're there, give me a holler. Let me know where you're watching from, and on Facebook, do the same. I'll be answering your questions here in a minute, and I can't wait to get your feedback on my big announcement for tonight. 22 your start your day temperature in Fargo, a little bit warmer than our neighbors to the north. Bemidji 17, 16 in Thief River Falls, and 17 and 18 for Warroad and Badette, respectfully. Now, as we head into your afternoon, pretty nice. No 50s, but pretty nice nonetheless. 35 to 40 degrees along I-94 all the way through the state of North Dakota into Glendive, Montana, and all the way through into central Minnesota, where Brainerd will see 37 degrees out there to begin the day. 34 in Grand Forks as we go through your afternoon, and a 23-degree reading up along the international border there for you folks in Badette. Alrighty then, now the 7-day planner will show the details of the next couple of days. One thing to keep in mind here is that we're going to have that beautiful near 40-degree day in Fargo, and then falling temperatures Friday as that cold air mass works its way down. We'll have some of you in the single digits by your afternoon drive home. Now, the Friday snow showers will be moving in from Montana, and that lasts into Saturday. Saturday, hit and miss showers of snow. They'll mainly be up to the north, the way it looks to me. Sunday, another shot. Monday, another shot, mainly in South Dakota or our southern counties. Old Uncle Frosticles joins us as we go into early next week with some sub-zero air temperatures as the Arctic air mass ensues. There's going to be a shot of snow here and here and here as we go into the latter part of the week. It looks like a significant chance of snow. Hutch's bottom line spells that out for you. Between February 6th and February 8th, multiple systems will move over, and there could be some real snowfall potential with that. So we'll get to that in a minute. But first, as we look at tomorrow, you know what tomorrow is, I know what tomorrow is, and it's Hutch's Weather Kid Day. Make sure you tune at 4:30. And from the showroom floor at Luther Family Ford, Riker Parsons will help me figure out this wild weather from Eastwood Elementary School. Tell your friends, and if you have a student or students, if you're interested in helping Hutch do the weather, learning some fun things about being in front of the camera and talking about the weather, we can do that. You can sign up right in the showroom floor at Luther Family Ford, or you can head over to hutchesweather.com. Look for the Weather Kid button. You'll find it. And from there, you'll be moving on and up. Now, let's take a look at the model comparison before we share that good news with you here. A lot of excitement going on at Hutch's Weather. I'll tell you what, growing with you and for you is my goal. So your ideas have led me and guided me along the way, because this is all about you and getting you the weather information that you want and need. No forecaster, human or otherwise, can consistently get the forecast right beyond days 4, 5, 6, and 7. Our accuracy goes down, but we are watching and monitoring a chance of some snowy weather that works its way in our general direction as we head into next week. Now, here's a quick look at a model, and we'll go ahead and show you the European model. The European model has, well, it really hasn't been too hot to trot, we'll say, on our chances of snow next week, but it's changed its mind. So here we go as we put this into motion and go through the weekend. Friday, cold air moves down from Canada. Here comes that first shot of snow. Notice how it stays north and into Minnesota. Then as we go through, we stay cold through the weekend, but another low pressure system glides by, mainly to the north once again as we go into Sunday. So most of the snow shower chances this weekend look to be minimal, but it will be windy in places at times. So watch for slippery nonsense out there, would you? Slow it down and check hutchesweather.com for the latest with regards to road conditions, always updated. Now, as we head into next week, we get cold out there. Remember that 7-day planner showed as much. And we'll have a shot of snow moving through our southern counties and South Dakota. This could be appreciable, but it's not long lasting. So that's the good news. Another shot of wind as well. Look at all them isobars across Nebraska and South Dakota. Real strong low pressure next to real strong high pressure means a lot of pressure change, and that drives the wind. Here's what Hutch is watching. Remember those dates I said on the 7-day? The 5th through the 8th, really the 6th through the 8th. Watch what happens. Now, as we put this into motion, whoops, I'm going to have to get to a different model run that goes out far enough. This European model decided to take the rest of the day off. So we'll go back over here and get this pulled up. Okay, here it is. So now, as we go through the 4th, 5th, here's that shot of snow. Here's a Colorado low. Boom. Check this out. On the 6th in the morning, so the night of the 5th, the morning, you get one wave making its way through with some snow, not a terrible amount of wind out there, and it's right over our primary area of North Dakota into Minnesota. Then there'll be another follow-up performance that will slide into parts of southern and central Minnesota, continuing the snowfall through the day in the 6th as well. Now, that's the European model's forecast. That heads out toward the Great Lakes and beyond, and really kind of, you know, explodes in intensity. Look at the bullseye that it makes out there as that low pressure center continues. We're not done yet, though. Models are illustrating another low pressure moving out as we go through the 8th. So a few rounds of snow looks very similar to the one that it was its predecessor. And all in all, that's some significant snow. How much snow, Hutch says? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that briefly. Hey, Deb, good to have you on board. CJ Johnson. Oh, we could sure use the moisture, particularly in parts of Montana and western North Dakota where that drought is concerning, to say the very least. Now, I put together a model comparison chart for you here, so let's take a look at that because it's really kind of cool to do. And give me a second while I load this up because I don't want to show you the comparison of temperatures. We're not too interested in that. But what I will describe to you is we have all of these different models up here, and these models allow us to compare things like temperature, and this is what meteorologists spend our times doing. Models are used for guidance. We have our gut feeling. We know where snow fell. We know all of the variables that we're really concerned about in making the forecast. Then we pick an idea in our head, and then we start looking at what models are going to do and say about it. And is there agreement between the models, or are they all coming from a different place? That can happen sometimes too. Now, we're specifically worried and concerned about snowfall in the extended forecast, and to look at that, we're going to look at let's look at the 24-hour chunked snowfall. So here we go. Whoopsie. I think there my monitor disappeared briefly. So allow me to get this back going here. Now, what we're going to look at is this run here. And we're going to go with the European, and now we're going to kind of load through some different graphic times. Now, what we're looking at is snowfall on the 6th. So the European model shows that there's going to be a round of snow moving through. And look at this, appreciable snowfall along North Dakota, I-94 and points north as we work through. And this is just a 24-hour window from ending on the 6th. So as we go into the midday hours on the 6th, that's what this model says. How about this other model? Similar location, maybe a little heavier snowfall. This is what we do as meteorologists. We kind of take a peek at what's out there. How much is it showing? And is it really something that's consistent between models? Now, here we go out a little later in time. This is going to be Wednesday on the 5th as we go through, pardon me, I need to get out towards the 7th and 8th. And as we compare models, you'll see that each of these models has a little bit different challenge with these snows because there's so many systems passing overhead. All that we're going to say is we're going to have regular chances of snow between the 5th and the 8th. And it does look like some of our counties, each run will have a chance at some appreciable snow, more than a few inches. So we'll keep our eyes on that. And some of these bands of snow will come through with a chance for some significant winds with them as well. So to do the grand scheme of things, this is kind of a fun one to do right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to basically the end of the week. So let's go through the 8th or the 9th and show you the snowfall amount total that this has. This is for the weekend, middle of next week. Remember, shots of snow Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe a little break in between. It's not going to snow the entire time. Here's the European forecast model. European model here. This is ending on the 8th in the morning. And look at the snowfall that we could have on the ground in some places. Well, several inches of snow. Some of us getting missed. And indeed, that does happen. I'm not going to tell you that we're going to see 11.2 inches of snow here and 9.7 there. No way. But what I'm looking at is the track and that the fact that we could have some significant snow across our northern counties on the European model. Here's a look at the Canadian model. Very similar, a little more robust with some of these snowfall amounts. And here's a look at the good old American model. All three, by the end of the 8th or the beginning of the 8th, the morning of the 8th, have a bunch of snow potentially for our area. Now, there have been storms that have delivered well more than 8 inches of snow in just 24 hours. So we're not talking about a boatload of snow at any one given time. Let's make that clear. But it certainly is a chance for some significant snow. So let's have a chat, everybody. Let me know if you're still watching on the YouTube stream over here. Drop me a comment there. I'm going to look for a couple comments or questions, and then we're going to get to some exciting announcements. I've got some things to announce for you here. Hey, thanks a lot, Davis. I appreciate all of you who have really supported Hutch over the years with stars, and now stars are activated once again on my lives. So that's exciting for me because your support over this last year has been incredible. Hi, Rebecca from Can Do. It's good to have you on board. Can Do could be based on those last models receiving a better chance at some more appreciable snow over the next or upcoming week. Okay, so now that I don't see a lot of active questions, I want to talk to you just a little bit about what we have for you. Hutchesweather.com. It's a great site for details for you, and we've added a partnership on here that I'm really excited to share with you, and it's going to continue to grow. There'll be a hint in here at that as well. Again, Hutchesweather.com has your latest road conditions right at the top of the page, snowfall amounts right at the top of the page. We could check in on those anytime. This is where you click viewer pictures for uploading some pictures that you have or video clips that you have of your weather. One of the most important things as a meteorologist, the radar shows us this, but it doesn't mean it's what's happening in your neck of the woods, right? So having some visual confirmation is fantastic. You can upload videos. You can come to hutchesweather.com and check this out. As you scroll down my page, I've got all my wonderful sponsors at the top of the line here. Scroll down a little farther, you get to the bottom line, and we've added a few new ones down here, but this is the one I want to introduce you to tonight. It's the Northern Transcon Railcam Ottertail channel. Now, you may have heard me talk of this before in covering weather last winter through the summer and this winter. And this is a network of cameras co-located with rail yards. So if you're an enthusiast of railroads, this is the camera network for you. And even if you're not, it has a great network of cameras across Minnesota. And if you have an idea of an area with a rail yard close by that you could get a picture of from your property, you might want to just give these folks a call. But let's go ahead and take a look at this page for you. I want to show you a couple of the highlights of this. Now, one thing to keep in mind again is we can take a quick look at what's on the radar but not know what's going on. If you look at the live channel right here, you see where it says live on all these? These are all live cameras right now. This is not a still picture. These are live video links. And this one right here, the very first one you see, is round-the-clock coverage of 16 cameras here in the region. Most are in Minnesota, but you can get an idea from Moorhead to Brainerd to across the region and see what's going on. Now, if you want to go to any one individual cam, scroll through this list right here, and you can pick the camera you want to see what's going on. So let's take a test of this here real quickly. I did look at the radar before we started this. It shows that there's a little bit of snow moving into Duluth. There's a little bit of snow moving into Roseau County. So we can take a look at the sequence of cams across the area by clicking on this first one here. And here we'll get the, oh, look, there's a little ad here. We'll let that play through. But essentially, you'll be able to see all 16 of these cameras right here. And what that'll show us is what's going on across the region. And what we're going to notice, I don't see flakes flying anywhere on here. The towns are neatly labeled up here. You got Prescott in Wisconsin, Newport, Brainerd, Little Falls, St. Cloud, Minnesota, all the way to Duluth, Minnesota, where the radar was showing some flakiness over the radar site, but we're not seeing a lot making its way down to the ground. And Wadena, we've got a great shot from your area, as well as Moorhead, Minnesota, Perham, Detroit Lakes. We're all covered right here. Again, thanks to my new partnership with the Northern Transcon Railroad cameras that are in Otter Tail Channel. You can see all of this right here on Hutch's Weather to kind of get a bird's eye view of what's going on in your area. So if you have a comment, let me know. If you have an idea, let me know. And Northern Paul says, are those 5 to 7 inch totals for the entire period or just one storm? Northern Paul, great question. When we were talking storm totals there at the end, those totals were over the 10-day period out toward the end of next week. So over 10 days, it doesn't seem like an awful lot there. Now, some could get a little more. I will tell you this, when we get cold, we get those fluffy flakes that skiers love. We call that powder. So it's going to be fluffy, flyy flakes of snow that are going to be making their way through here as we go through the weekend and into next week. So I think on those in some places may be a little bit on the low end, but we'll keep you posted on that. Whoop, we got a train moving through Prescott, Wisconsin right now as we could take a look at that. So thanks so very much to my friends at the NTROTC, the Otter Tail Channel, rail cams, 16 of them right here, and that is what we have for you. Now, another special announcement I've also told you about is the fact that on this 7-day planner here, we've compared the models a little bit, but generally the big snow doesn't get here, but I want to point this out. Saturday, chance of some flakes, mainly north. Sunday, chance of some flakes, mainly north and east. Monday, I think we could have some appreciable snow in our southern counties and along that South Dakota border. Tuesday, here we go. We start to see maybe a little bit of a break, but just a few flakes with some scattered snow showers that really start to intensify, particularly late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even into next Saturday. So it's quite a robust period of wintry weather across the valley. If there are no other questions, I'm going to check those out right now, but we've gone over a lot of information here for you. And again, I love your ideas. I love the fact that you have supported Hutch over these months and helped it grow. Camera network, live camera network. It's a great thing to do. Simon the Broken, hello. Where are you coming from, Simon? It's good to have you on board. Thank you so very much for joining. Let me take a look at my other channel here and see what we got going on. Do weather apps go off historical average when they post their forecasts, say 7 days out? Mitch, that's an awesome question. Weather models, apps are different. Apps can be different. Each app that you get on your mobile device might use a specific model each and every time. It doesn't change the model. It uses the same model. And you've heard me say it once. You've heard me say it 100 times over this last year. There's not one single model that consistently gets the forecast right every single time. There just isn't. All of us have a challenge forecasting the weather because of all the variables. When we take a look at the 7-day forecast, it's not going off historical averages totally. Some of these longer range models will weigh climatological average into the equation of temperatures and such. So it does take those things into account. But mainly what it's relying on is calculations that are based on physics and the flow of the atmosphere, thermodynamics and the moisture in the atmosphere, and the kinetics in the atmosphere. Where do we have rising air? Where do we have sinking air? And it's not just in one layer of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is sliced into numerous layers. Some models have more layers. Some models have fewer layers. Some models do a really good job at estimating what the temperature might be in point A if you're in between two major cities. So all of those factors make all of these models a little bit different. When does the Mayville radar come back online? That's up to the National Weather Service. Last I heard, they had their tech crew out there trying to get things figured out, maybe even order parts, but I haven't seen an update from them lately. So your guess is as good as mine on that. As far as when the radar comes online. Radars, particularly this time of the year, because winter clouds are shallow. Thunderstorm clouds are very tall, and we can see them for up to 100 miles or even more in some cases because they reach 50,000 feet high in the atmosphere. These winter clouds are much more shallow, so radars that are closer to your location are very important because really what we're seeing when we get up high, sometimes we shoot over the top of those clouds. Rita, good to have you on board. So hope I answered your question there, Mitch. Good to talk to you all. Thank you so very much. I'll let Sheldon Cooper know about this. Davis, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody passing the good word, not only that Hutch is here, but that we have more tools for you to keep your eyes on stuff. Stephanie says, today, Wednesday, 5 inches of snow in West Chazy, New York, 1 hour from Montreal. Okay, now let's go to hutchesweather.com. And I want to say, Stephanie, thank you so very much. Kyle also says, really appreciate the way we explain the weather. I love doing it. I can talk longer than I need to sometimes, but it's all based on interaction with you. Stephanie, let's look at some of these snowfall totals. We're going to go to hutchesweather.com right here together. And one of the things you're going to see right at the top of my page is something that I'm really proud of putting out there for you. The National Weather Service takes your reports, like the one you just gave us at 5 inches. Okay. If you go out and ruler your snow and you pass that information along to me or the National Weather Service, when they get it, they plot it on a map like this. And I'll show you what this looks like. So we can look at New York State and take a look at what's going on with snowfall totals by clicking on that top line where it says snowfall amounts. Now I have it zooming in on our area here, but you don't have to stay here. You just use your mouse, you scroll around, and now you can start seeing the real damage that's been done. We're talking about this area here in the Great Lakes that has seen a few waves of snow move over the last couple of days. And what's happened is the snow has dusted our northern Minnesota communities. Through the Great Lakes, we get that lake effect enhanced snow right here. So as we look not far west of Sault Ste. Marie, there's some yellow dots and orange dots. What? 12 to 18 inches of shovel trouble? That's redonky-donk right there. I hate when that happens because I don't like shoveling that much. That's when I want to gas up the snowblower. And then as we take a look out to the East Coast, it's been very snowy as we look into some typical locations. Now, typically right off of Lake Ontario, right off of Lake Erie, we get enhanced lake effect snows. We're not seeing the higher snowfall totals there. This is a different type of system that's been impacting your area. And we're seeing some of these yellow and orange dots out here showing upwards of 5 to 12 inches of snow in central and northern New York, in northern Vermont as well. So that is indeed what's going on. And if we go ahead and cruise or roll over any one, this is 10 inches of snow right here in Wells, New York, and 9.5 in Paul Smith's, New York as well. 7 inches in the, boy, let's see, that was a fun one to try to read. Constableville? I've never been to Constableville, but if I was there today, I would be shoveling some snow, some shovel trouble. You can also look at it in the tabulated form right here. Based on your map view, Wells, New York had the biggest snowfall total in that map view, and we can change the map view, and it will give you the order of snow from highest to lowest across the nation. So that's what's going on. We do have some snow in the desert Southwest that has happened today in Arizona. What? Yeah, you get in the elevated train near Crown King, they got some flaky stuff. Hey, Simon, the broken, watching from Fargo. I appreciate you watching. That's a look at your weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hey, keep all of my sponsors here on hutchesweather.com in mind, because hutchesweather.com, it wouldn't be possible without their help. So as you take a look at my page, once again, we got the new sponsor. We just told you about the Northern Transcon rail cams. Really a service for you to see what's going on out there. And all of my fine sponsors up here as well. Keep them in mind should you need any tree care coming up. Once we start getting leaves on the trees, Slim will get you taken care of. Slim he was my first signed on client here at Hutch's Weather, and Slim's Tree Care is it's some important business, because, sometimes you have trees that threaten to fall on your property or maybe on your structures. He has 25 years of experience. He's a certified arborist. He is also bonded and insured, and he does precision pruning. Take a look at this. He is also specialized in tree climbing work. Not all tree removers do this type of work that Slim does. You can join him on Facebook. You can get in touch with him here. If you have some work that needs to be done in your property, call Slim's Tree Care for that. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. You all are the most bestest. I appreciate you supporting me and watching me here and trusting me with your weather information. Hutchesweather.com anytime. Please, please, please take the time to hit subscribe on YouTube and hit the follow button on Facebook. It makes a huge difference. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Have a wonderful night. We'll talk again very soon.